Oh, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 18th of March 2022. I don't know about you, but I'm going to the London shopping trip tomorrow up in London, and it's a 12 o'clock start in Parliament Square. So if you're going to be there, and it might be a good idea because it looks like it's going to be a lovely day weather-wise, and hopefully there'll be some good numbers up there as well, and we can have a good day. But if you see me, as always, feel free to come up to me and say hi. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I've got a list of other venues here as well, because these are happening up and down the country, and the other venues as well as London are Sheffield, Manchester, Totnes, Bristol, Chelmsford, Norwich, Birmingham, Oxford, Hull, Liverpool, Blackburn and Leeds. And what did I say? Edinburgh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one in Edinburgh as well. So yeah, they're your venues. Let's just get rid of that thing. Don't need that anymore. And yeah, I think it's looking like it's going to be a nice day, and let's hope it's a good one. Speaking about the shopping trips, I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do the one next month in April, because that'll be a nice point, that would, because it was April of last year that I went on my first one. So it will mean that I've been going to these shopping trips every month. I haven't missed a month out. I've gone every single month, and yeah, by late April, the April one, it will be an entire year that I've been doing it. But I think after that, I'm going to switch my attention to more localised activism of various kinds. And I'll sort of tell you what I'm doing as and when those things happen, and probably not do so many of the London ones. I might do the odd one here and there, but it won't be a monthly thing anymore, unless of course they start murmuring and muttering about lockdowns again. Then yeah, I'll be back up there like a shot. But I think that is going to be the plan of action. But I'm not giving up the activism. I'll be doing, as I say, more localised things. And yeah, speaking of more local activism, you might recall a story I did quite a few months ago, early November I think it was. I kind of went along on I think it was a Monday morning, to my local magistrates court, Crawley Magistrates Court, and that was to support two people who had been arrested in Crawley during, again, as I say, a more localised bit of activism. And there was an event there, and they were arrested most ridiculously for impersonating police officers, because they were dressed up as these peace officers. And if you've been on any of these shopping trips, especially the London one, you've seen them. You know, and it's quite obvious that they aren't impersonating police officers, not properly or in any kind of sinister way. It's just a light-hearted way, really, of poking fun at the system. And yeah, unfortunately, during this event, I think it was August, September of last year, in Crawley, the police weren't sort of taking it in any kind of light-hearted fashion, and they arrested this couple. Then the initial hearing at Crawley Magistrates Court was just a deferral, and I said it had been at that time deferred until March, and it was going to be at the Horsham Crown Court. Well, that happened this week on Wednesday, and unfortunately the sort of couple were found guilty. You know, total stitch-up job, and they were fined. He was fined £1,000, and she was fined £800, and they're a couple, so that's basically £800, £1,800 out of the same household, and they're only ordinary people, so it's going to be something they can ill afford. So yeah, just totally disgraceful really, and it was just a complete stitch up job. The powers that shouldn't be being spiteful and kind of coming down, using a sledgehammer to crack a nut really. So yeah, not the greatest news, but I'm here to report that. And yeah, it is an example of just why we need to keep this activism continuing and doing all we can to make it known to the powers that shouldn't be that we are not impressed, basically. Anyway, I think one way that more and more people are another thing that we are using to defeat the powers that shouldn't be and their nonsense is localism and localised food production. And there's many people in the truth movement now who think it's at least desirable, if not vital, for people to start producing their own food. It doesn't matter how big or small you do it, even if you just literally got a couple of pots in the garden, growing a few chilies or something, or a few carrots or tomatoes. You're doing your bit. And then if that's kind of echoed up and down the country, we get more and more people growing food. We're not going to be quite as reliant on the food chain provided to us by the powers that shouldn't be, who, knowing them, could well decide they want to take it away from us at a moment's notice. So it's just another way of kind of weaning yourself off the system and being a bit more self-reliant. And with that in mind, with the weather being so lovely at the moment as well, here in the southeast of England at least, I made a trip after work to the garden centre, and I picked up a few bits and bobs to start growing some food. I have been doing my prepping, but it hasn't as yet extended to any kind of food production whatsoever, even though I've been hankering after it. So what I'm going to do is I've got a few of those, maybe not the best way of doing it. I've got some of those bag things that you put sort of soil and compost into and then plant your crops in there, or your seeds in there. But I just want to start off really, really small. And I've got no idea. I've never grown anything, so I've got no idea whether I'm going to be any good at it or not. So I don't want to waste a load of money on, digging up the whole garden and all that kind of thing, only to find it's just a complete disaster. So this year, I'm just going to use these sort of bag things. I might get a couple of those wooden planter things as well, maybe eventually later on in the spring. But I've got sort of 3 potato bags, and I've got 2 slightly larger ones which are about 1 metre long, about 75 centimetres wide, and I think it's about sort of 35-40 centimetres deep. So I've got a couple of those. So I've got some, I'm going to be doing potatoes, onions, carrots, and some chilies, some jalapenos. So I'm going to be planting those over the weekend, and I might show you what I've done once it's all up and running, and I'll be reporting on what I'm doing and whatever results I might get over time and the progress that I make. So I probably won't do an update on that for quite a while. These things are a slow process after all, but sort of looking forward to doing that and learning some new skills, and hopefully putting a little bit of food on the table without getting it from anyone else, which would be very satisfying, I should think. So I'm going to leave it there. Got batteries to charge and things like that ready for the shopping trip tomorrow. I'll probably leave here about 10:30 to get up to central London by I don't know, about sort of 11:45. And if you're going to London, hopefully I'll see you there. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.